Hi. So, I have got no idea how good or bad any commentary that I might be doing over a live a live speed run of Dungeons of Dredmor. So before anything else, I wanted to talk about what my skill choices do. So first off, Golemancy. I take this so I can get the Unliving Wall, which costs 6 mana. It literally just creates a wall, making a space you can't pass through it, just makes a wall. This is only really used for the final boss, Dredmor, and I need to keep him pinned down or else he'll get into melee range and one-shot me, because I'll be very low on items probably by that point, and levels. The second is Math Magic. Math Magic is good for its level 1 jump discontinuity, which is just it's a teleport, but I cannot control where it goes. It's completely random. It says right there on the last line, randomly teleports you. So this is good for A, getting out of any really big trouble, or B, it's good for getting behind some walls into some little secret nooks and crannies, which you can tell by just the layout of the land. The next thing from Math Magic is whatever the hell that says. What this does, it doesn't say it that well, but it just gives you a load of magical damage, and I'll be using almost totally magic damage for this entire run. I can stack it, as it says, and it'll cost mana to upkeep. I'll talk about how I keep that, or upkeep my mana later. If I've got enough skill points, I can also get Zuklid's Translation, which is just a teleport again, but I can actually choose where I go. Promethean Magic is the skill tree which makes the speedrun possible. It's the best, strongest magical tree, at least that I know of. So I'm going to be using that for Dragon's Breath, which is a good floor 1, floor 2 damage. But really for this guy, Summon Wormling. This guy, on easy mode, will be able to tank and take out pretty much every enemy until about floor 8 or so, I'd say. There's 10 floors in this mode. And the next is Gog's Tactical Pyre, which is it's pretty much, for its mana cost, it is pretty much the best single target burn damage. It just completely knocks them out. It has a bit of damage over time in the fact that the tile you cast it on stays set alight for a while, and combining this with the Unliving Wall allows me to pin in Dredmor and burn him to death. This is also good for pretty much everything else once I get it, but I do not rush it, because there are more important things to get. The next is Blood Magic. I will not put any points into Blood Magic, because I just don't need to. Excuse me. I just don't need to put any points into Blood Magic because its best move is the one you'll already get, Sanguinista. What that does is it gives you some mana whenever you kill pretty much anything. Not anything, but most things. There are constructions in the game, the lay of the land, called monster zoos, which summon some, I don't know, it's usually about 50 enemies there. If you kill them all, you get an item. But hey, it's 50 enemies right there, and I get more mana for every one I kill. Using Gog's Tactical Pyre and the Wormling, I can kill them all very quickly, and early on it'll give me about 2 levels worth, and each level you get 1 skill point for doing all of this. Before I was using Archaeology in place of this, because I needed a skill tree which had a good first thing, which I don't need to put skill points into, and Archaeology gives you a cool hat. Yeah, that's it. Ley Lines. Its base thing just gives me mana regen, so it just gives me 1 bonus mana regen. I think that's just... Yes, every turn I'll regain 1 mana. I think. Actually, let me test that out. I'm not entirely sure what that means. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, every 4. Every 4 steps, every 4 turns, I'll get 1 mana off that. Let's turn this back on. The next move, the only one you really go for, is Thaumaturgic Tap. 32 turn cooldown. It just gives you a ton of mana whenever you use it, and this is the main fuel to use Gog's Tactical Pyre in late game, but I'll be using this all throughout the run, and it is the third thing I get. This, that, and this. At the end of the game, like, this is the last thing I'll put a skill point into, and that's only if I get enough experience to do this. Conduit, which gives me 3 more magical damage and 1 more mana regen, so it's just bonus mana regen mainly. The next is Killer Vegan, another skill tree which I will not put any points into. Killer Vegan means that any animal type enemies will not attack you. This is very, very important because I'm going to be extremely squishy. I'll have no defenses whatsoever, and especially on floor 7 there are just a lot of animal enemies. Floor 7's where I'm going to be doing my last grinding mostly, and then I'll just shoot all the way for, or maybe it's floor 8. Then I'll shoot all the way for the final floor and be looking for Dredmor. This here that it gives you is a bit more health, but mainly whenever I kill a vegetable enemy, it'll sometimes drop some tofu, or it'll sometimes drop something. Also, I start off with 5 tofu, which is a very good healing item. The downsides to Killer Vegan are that if I use non-magic to attack an animal, I will be debuffed significantly for 200 steps. Luckily, I can make steps pretty quickly in this game. And there's something else. Oh yes, I can't eat meat. If I eat meat, then I'll have the same detriment. However, I will still likely be picking up a meat item called the Dire Sandwich, just because it's, in a pinch, its healing is worth the massive stat detriment. The last is another very important skill tree, the Magical Law. Confiscate Evidence at level 1 allows me to take any item that I see on the floor and pick it up. It becomes mine. Especially on floors 1, 2 and 3, there are a lot of items which you cannot otherwise get except by using Confiscate Evidence, unless you're really lucky with this guy. So that's good. The main thing I get it for, though, is the Gag Order. Gag Order deals damage over time to most targets, but it also silences them. That means they cannot use any spells or anything to come and kill you. On easy mode, Gag Order will kill pretty much anything in one cast until about floor 6 or 7. Some things like golems, it doesn't work on. But the main reason that this is gotten is because Dredmor, the final boss, has got a variety of magical moves and teleports, and most of them will kill me in one shot, so I need to keep him silenced. When I meet Dredmor, there's a pretty decent chance that Dredmor will just one-shot me right at the very end of the game. It's happened before, and it will happen again, and it's very disheartening, but that's just how it goes. The last thing for me to talk about quickly is that on most floors there's these set pieces. And there's these special enemies. For example, on floor 1 there's a mace called the Mace of Lobster, and that's just on a specific set, and it spawns most of the time on floor 1. On floor 2 there's a guy called the Baron, who gives me a really, really nice hat called the Baron's Hat, which just increases my magical damage by quite a significant amount that early in the game. On floor 7, there's a crab enemy which can spawn, which will drop the Crown of Yellow, which might be a Lovecraft reference, I'm not sure. He'll drop the Crown of Yellow, which is another really cool hat. No, that's the king in yellow. And finally, on... oh, I skipped one. On floor 3 or so, floor 3, I think. Yes, floor 3, there's a set piece with robots, which has got an amulet which, again, increases magical damage. The last thing to say is that anything blue that I find is good. You know, mages, anything azure in this game is just really good for mages. Mages love azure. And what happens is that, so what I mean is that there's many different fungi in this game, so just mushrooms and that sort of stuff. One of them is the blue cap, and that increases magical damage again when I eat it for a short time. There are blue shields, and there's blue orbs, and they're all good. There's blue ring, that's good as well. There are these bluish oven mitts. No, sorry, not oven mitts. They're bluish winter mitts, which are also good. They make your attacks go deal ice damage around you. And look, that's blue. It's blue. Anything blue is good. But the most important good blue thing is the pretty obvious reference to... well, there's the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster, Douglas Adams, which is another really good item. What it does is it gives you 42 mana, yeah, and it'll also give you a mana upkeep move, so quite a lot like however the hell you pronounce that, which is required to beat Dredmor. It just gives you too much mana to not go for. And that's about all the planning there is. For the skill tree, like the order in which I get everything, I'll be going for this, so I can get this guy quickly. Then Thaumaturgic Tap, then Polymorphic Conjunction into Gag Order. Then I'll be going for Obvious Fireball into Gog's Tactical Pyre. Then Animate Mustache into Unliving Wall. Then I will put points in this. Oftentimes I'll finish the game right after I get this guy. If I've got more, I'll go for Zeuclid's Translation and Conduit. I have never gotten more skill points than that before, but in the case I do, I'll just get this one, because it's just more mana again. I think this is more mana as well. Actually... nope, that's not. That's just Teleport. Which is decent, I guess. But yes, that's my build. Alright, time to do a run.